Maria. All right, we sound good.
Listen to me when I say you need to ditch the idea of paying rent and move into an RV like yesterday.
Yeah.
We've been doing it nearly 3 years, and the only regret we have is not doing it sooner. Yeah, the spaces are smaller and it's considered tiny living, but so are a lot of these apartments nowadays. And if you haven't searched up travel trailer or fifth wheel, they're about the same size as an apartment. You'd be surprised.
All right, buckle up. We've got van life, RV life, car living, the alternative lifestyle for the new generation. Now, according to this, blew my mind actually. In 2022, an estimated 3.1 million Americans were living full time in vans, RVs, and other motorized vehicles converted into homes. Now, we're going to dive deep on this, okay? First time I ever heard of van life, I was living out in California in like 2015. New neighbors move in around my age at the time. I was 25 at the time. And I go outside and I'm talking with them, and then I see their van. They start getting in it. It's this old vintage, like 1980s, like conversion van with like a pop top. They gave us a full tour. Apparently, they lived in that van for an entire year. Stove, kitchen, sex, no rent. And I remember thinking to myself, I was like, I wanted to do it, but at the time I was taking care of somebody. I was taking care of my dad at the time. He recently passed away. I appreciate everybody who has reached out. I really do. Um, but I really was diving down that rabbit hole even 10 years ago. So now it's huge, and I understand why, but we're going to dive deep, and we're going to have some fun. We're going to look into this, the whole RV, van life, even car living. It's a big deal. This one was funny. Started off nicely. Back in 93 on the SNL, Chris Farley is like, you'd be living in a van down by the river, and otherwise you'd be a loser. But now, and today, it goes, if you could save up 45K, maybe one day you could live in a van down by the river. So that's how popular it's going. We're going to dive deep here. But this is a dude, these are like classic influencers, you know, in an old school kind of how much they're paying a month here. And but they went the old school route, which is probably what most of us can afford, unless you want to get the loan, which would still probably be a lot cheaper than an apartment. But you know, it looks pretty fun. Like it looks like they're making a career. Like you can make a career out of van life, and people are doing this. So these two, dude, a couple living in this tiny car, it's a bit much, but for two people, $1,100 a month. Not too bad. It sounds pretty. It like obviously they're showing us kind of the fun shit. I'm sure there's moments where, you know, two people snuggled up in this car. You could probably like scoot over, you know. But let's get deep here. I checked out some vans, but I went for the more affordable vans on this just to get us some pricing here. But even some of these older vans, it's got so popular that, you know, the price gouging, which can't really blame them. It's a hot deal. People need accommodations to sleep indoors aside from a tent. But you got a 2002 Ford for 30 grand. Okay. You got a 1993, all right, vintage for $25,000. Okay. And these are all pre-done conversion vans, like already ready for you to buy them and live in them. 35 G's for a 2018. This one right here was probably the best bet I've seen so far. 3,700 for a 2003. Now, I don't think that one's gutted out, and you're probably going to have some engine issues. But, you know, there is possibilities out here to get like a $10,000 one. But a lot of these, man, 36 Gs. I mean, this is like a full-blown career for people. This is a website that literally is for van life. $31,000 for a 2018. 10 grand for a Ford Econoline, not bad. $22,000 for a 2023. This one's got like a roof rack and shit on it, dude. Like a little sunbathing kit. You got a little honey dip, sunbathing on the top. Just to get us some ideas. We're going to jump into the RV stuff too, but a lot of them are super expensive. I mean, look at this, dude. 2002 Volkswagen, but look at the popper 10 on it. I get it is appealing. It really is. Oh, look at this one, though, before we go. This one's like Mother Nature going on. This is like decked out, but 35 grand. It's like a little house in there. It does look appealing. It really does. You got a kitchen, a stove. You got curtains. Look at curtains and shit. It's like a mini apartment. And it's going to be way cheaper than what we're paying. All right, let's move on to RVs here, shall we?
This is approximately how much we pay every single month as a family of 5 living full-time in our RV. Keep in mind, this is very specific to us, our situation, and our family. This
family of 5. Before we get into that, today's video is sponsored by Connect With Me, and this is perfect for anybody trying to be an influencer or is already an influencer. Connect With Me provides you with a mock number so that people can reach out to you at any time. For instance, this is a number you could call me at, but instead of doing the whole pay for a whole hour deal, they just charge by the minute. So if you're an influencer, you charge as little as $1 a minute, and this is kind of this is innovating stuff here. How many influencers just put a phone number out on the screen or in the description box that you could just call anytime and not have to book an hour or anything? You could just call them. You got questions? Talk to them for 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Or even 2 minutes. You're just saying hi. You know, a lot of people just leave like a super chat, right? This is way better. You can call and say, hey, here's $5. I like your stuff. Or let's say, for instance, the van life situation. Some of these van life full-time people, they put the number out there. They don't have to worry about giving their own information out, worrying about texting and all that stuff. They call, boom, they charge them by the minute. Hey, how do I become a van lifer? Hey, how'd you do the travel thing? It's pretty cool. Anyways, Connect With Me. It's free in the App Store for people like me. I love it, and thanks to everybody who's called. I actually had a guy who called recently, Rod. He's been doing RV life for 17 years. He was way ahead of the curve. It was actually kind of funny because I told him, I was like, I'm working on an RV life video. Anyways, Connect With Me. Leave the information down below. Free in the App Store. I love it, and thanks to everybody who's called, and I think it's great for influencers innovating stuff. Anyways, back to the family of 5 in an RV here. This is crazy.
will be completely different for everybody, but it will give you a general idea. Our camper is a 2024 and we bought it brand new. Our monthly loan payment is $800 a month. Then you're going to have your lot rent. Our lot rent is $800 a month, and that includes our water and of course all the RV park amenities, which we have a pool, a fitness center, and a game room. For our electric, we pay $140 a month. Keep in mind, we have residential appliances, 3 AC units, and 3 kids. For RV insurance, which you have to have, we pay $120 a month for full coverage. For propane for heat and cooking, we pay around $40 to $50 a month in Texas. For internet and Wi-Fi, we pay $100 a month. For streaming services such as Prime Video, Paramount, Disney Plus, etc., we pay $30 a month. For basic maintenance and upkeep, we pay an average of $100 to $150 a month. For groceries as a family of 5, we pay about $200 a week. In total, that brings us to about $2,900 a month.
All right. Wow, that's actually still cheaper than a family of 5 living in a regular home. But that's a bit extreme. All right, but that's why, like, for me, like, I lived in a car, not by choice. It was just like I had to for a bit. It was only a 3-month journey. I don't recommend the car, although a lot of people are saying stuff it. They're doing the car. It's the cheapest route. Let's be honest. It really is. Okay, because we're seeing some of these prices, and we'll go over some prices on the RVs coming up. But me and my dad, like 10 years ago, I said, because I had to take care of him at the time. He was broke, and he had really bad dementia. So I said, how can I keep paying for all this? You know, you're 25 going, how do I make it? And we went and looked at RVs. But it turns out they're super fucking expensive. Like the lot rent, even back 10 years ago, was $600. So now I was doing some research, like 800, some places 1,000, sometimes $500 for the lot rent. So it seems like van life is still the more kind of, but if you're gonna do it long term, it's kind of like you need a little room to wiggle around. Anyways, let's get back here. This guy's bitching about trailer parks, which I've also got my dad a trailer. I'll talk about that right after this.
I got a bone to pick with y'all, bro. So right here, this is called a fucking trailer park. This is where the cheap motherfuckers supposed to live. This is supposed to be a cheap option for us broke motherfuckers. But here is the problem. They charging $1,200 to live in a fucking mobile home trailer park, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And that shit don't make no fucking sense.
Insane. Actually, true story, in 2009, I was 19. My parents, we lost our house. My mom was okay. They had split up. But my dad, he comes to me as a 19-year-old, says, hey, I got to be level with you. I'm broke. And I need $2,200. No, actually, I think it was $1,900. And I was like, what? You know, I'm 19. I think I had like $5,000 to my name, which back then I was rich. $5,000? Loaded. Hood rich Ricky, ballin', but he wants like half my money, you know. And I'm like, what for? And he's like, well, I found this trailer park community. And I was like, no. But get this, ready? 2010, give or take, $500 a month on the intercoastal in the ocean in South Florida. $500 a month. Yeah. Guess the price nowadays. Yeah, guess the price. I'll give you a little comparison. This is in the full-blown ghetto in South Florida here in Riviera Beach. They want $833 to own, which is actually a pretty good deal. Or you could buy it for $25,000. But this is in the full-blown hood. It's still $833. Remember what I said. $500 on the intercoastal. Nice neighborhood. Ocean front property. Okay? But that's what it used to be. He was actually in another trailer, too, that looked just like this place. A piece of shit. Okay? Like, they're not the best. This one's actually pretty nice compared to what my dad lived in. The second one he lived in, $300 a month. I know. That same place, probably $1,000, $1,500. Hold on. Let's go to another one. Let's go to something more realistic other than living in the ghetto. Look at this one. This is a mobile home. $2,400 a month. It's got an island and shit, though. It looks pretty nice. It's Palm Beach Gardens, pretty ritzy area. But look, like, that one's actually nice. But, dude, $2,300. I'd rather live in an RV. Honestly. I rather would. Like, if I didn't own this house, I inherited this house, stole a mortgage on it, like, we would be paying so much more money. But anyways, let's go back here. Let's bring it back to the 1950s. This was funny right here. Billboard in Arizona in the 1950s was $9,800, $10,000 for a home with a swimming pool. I know.
There's a billboard in Arizona in the 1950s showing that you can get your own home with a swimming pool for $9,800 on West Indian School Road. Hard enough and found the neighborhood here. $534K.
Oh man, this is great.
Here's the front of it.
$500,000.
It's now $534. But if you adjusted the $9,800 for inflation, that should only be about $116K. And this is it, 1954. That's when it was built.
Dude, this guy did his homework. That's fucking awesome.
You can see.
Wait, look at this. In 2011, that same home sold for $80,000. Now, if you're lucky, you can find yourself a good RV for $80,000.
What it was sold at.
I've been trying to escape the Matrix. So I live in a trailer. And I don't work a 9 to 5. Because I don't have to. One of the biggest issues here in America is food and housing. And I just work event gigs. I bought my trailers in full from a previous owner. And yes, I said trailers.
Oh, she's
I
balling.
have a driving RV. It's like a bus.
Yeah, these right here, I found some for sale. We'll see those in a minute. But this is kind of the only real affordable thing. The other ones, we're talking $250,000. I'm not kidding. $100,000 for these driving ones, these newer ones. Like, no, it's still not practical.
And I have a pool trailer that
Yeah, like this one's more practical, but this is old, dude. This is like 80s, maybe even older. Like this is I like that vintage stuff too. But this, you could still find these. It's not a bad idea, honestly.
latch on to your truck. And no, trailer living is not something that I want to do forever. But in the time being, this is a damn good solution.
I agree. So I looked at some. We're talking big fucking money, okay? We're way priced out for the average, especially young person, even older person. But I did find some of these travel trailers that you'd have to hook up to a car. So now you're going to have to own a vehicle and this. But I found some right here, $8,300, $12,000, not bad. This is like obtainable stuff here. Like this one for $8,300, that looks pretty decent, dude. Like, hold on, let's see the inside real fast. Looks pretty chill. Couch, dining area. Don't forget about the sex that could be have. Look at this. Bed, chilling. Like, that's about this. Like, that's the same size as most people's restrooms. Although you're probably going to have to do the sewage yourself and stuff. That's probably not that much fun. But $8,300? I don't know about that lot rent, but find somewhere you can maybe, there's ways around it. There's got to be ways around the lot rent. But I found some pretty good deals. 12.5, 13,000. This one's got a pop out, Pabomski on it. Look at this one. For 13.5, call it 14 grand, 15 grand. All right, come on. Looks pretty nice. Got an awning. Yeah, look at the living room setup on this thing. It's no different than most people's apartments. Like, look at that. I'd live there. I would. Now, I don't know about no family of 5 like that lady in the beginning. But, you know, even if you had a girlfriend, this is still pretty chill. Even 2 people. Like, come on, dude. There's families raising a kid or 2 in a 1-bedroom. Yeah. It's pretty decent. Oh, got bunk beds and shit? Nice, dude. I'm a big bunk bed guy. Always have been. But I found some pretty good deals. Another 14 grand, 15 grand, 12,000. This is a driving one for 12,000, but yeah, you're probably going to have to do some maintenance on that thing. I don't know. I feel like the travel trailer is your best route. I actually found a guy. We're going to get to him right after this. All right, where are we at here? Okay, this one right here, 8,500. Another one. This one's old school too. Look at that, the Vintage Daddy. This one's a 2005, but look at that. It looks quaint, cool, like kitchen, everything you need. Fridge, nice bed, big enough, like bathroom. Well, bathroom's not the biggest, but you know how long do you have to use the restroom for? But this is something I truly almost did 10 years ago, way ahead of the curve. Well, I guess that's when it started getting popular. But this is becoming a realistic solution. And look, I'm not saying it's the right way, but it's kind of fascinating. There is a level of like, almost seems freedom. America. Right? Anyways, let's wind it down. This guy right here kind of breaks it down for us on how a lot of these people do it. And kind of shows the trailer park here and like the different level of people who live there. Because sometimes you could ask yourself the question, like, I don't have a truck. How do I get it? How do I do this? Well, apparently you don't need any of that.
I have been living at this RV park for over 7 years now. This is my particular RV, nothing special. It's a 2007 Cougar. It is a toy hauler. I keep one of my motorcycles in there, and I keep the other motorcycle there. This is my car.
Now, I know he's got motorcycles and shit and a truck and everything. Just wait for it, okay? He didn't used to have all this stuff.
My truck, and we're going to tour around. I've made some videos inside my RV, but today we're going to see what it's like to live in an RV park. And I'm going to walk and talk basically around the RV park. There is all kinds of units. Older units like mine, newer units that are a lot more expensive. That's a Class A motorhome.
Yeah, those right there, $250,000.
Right next to.
All right, maybe not $250,000, $100,000. A lot. Way beyond most of us.
To it is a fifth wheel like mine, but a newer and larger one.
Apparently the fifth
Here's
wheels are the shit.
Example of a fifth wheel. This one here is a bumper pull type trailer. Most people have that. This is my neighbor's, as you can see. I've lived here for over 7 years. I got divorced, and then I needed a place to live. This is another fifth wheel. It's a smaller one. And some people don't even have a truck to move their RVs.
Right here.
I know these people right here, I believe, just live in there. It's a couple. They live in there. They don't even have a way to move the RV, but you don't have to worry about that because you can. There's plenty of people that will move your RV for a fee. And that's how I originally moved my RV here. I paid someone to move it to the RV spot, and it's been there ever since. More fifth wheels. Fifth wheels.
That's crazy. Like, that's another business idea. You got a truck? Shit, moving people's RVs. Because it looks like it's going to become more popular. But that dude, moral of the story is that dude got a trailer, didn't even have a truck, Didn't have any of that thing. And it looks like in 7 years he's built a life up. And he's able to have toys. He's got motorcycles, right? It's kind of crazy. He's got 2 motorcycles. Moved there with no truck. All of a sudden he's got like a full-blown life going. But this seems like a viable option, honestly. It's kind of wild.
Popular. I like the floor plans on fifth wheels.
If credits...
All right, we're going to end on a funny note here. This is going back. We're going to bring it back to how boomers bought houses back in the day. This is kind of crazy. We're going to end on a funny note, okay? Send you off. Have a good Saturday. But this is funny right here.
Scores didn't exist before 1989. Then how did boomers buy houses?
In my 20s,
Right here.
I wanted to buy some property to build a lake. Went into the local community bank, sat down with the president of the bank. We talked for a while, and then he said, well, how much do you need? And I said, whatever, figure I wanted. And so he slid a pad of promissory notes across his desk, which back then were only a piece of paper 5 by 8 inches. He said, fill in the amount you want and sign it, which I did. So he looked at it, said, oh, you'll need more than this. Let's change the figure.
No.
So we did that, and I had the money in my account the next day. I bought 80 acres of ground, built a 14-acre lake, which we made an island in the middle of it, built a bridge out to the island because we were going to build a house. But today you do not get a loan with a 5 by 8 inch piece of paper on my signature only.
That's the best thing I've ever heard. Just went in, said, hey, I want this crib. They just slide him a piece of paper, 1 piece of paper. He just signs it. Just a note, just like a sticky note. I owe you. Wow. Anyways, you guys leave your thoughts. This is something that's always fascinated me, even from 10 years ago when I looked into doing it myself. The RVs were super expensive, a little bit more difficult, but the van life, pretty viable option. Car living's huge, but anyways, you guys leave your thoughts. It's always something that's just kind of, I guess it's like a daydream for me, kind of like you just think about it sometimes, like, oh man, it'd be so freeing, like you could have a pretty low paying job and still have a pretty chill life. Anyways, check out the second channel where I post daily content. Don't forget about Connect with me. They're free in the App Store if you're a YouTuber. You want to start putting out a phone number like this, make a little extra cash, connect with people. Connect with me. Solid talk. Enjoy your Saturday. God, that was fun. Unreal. I'm clocking out for the day.